Okay, so if you're a founder or a product leader, you know this feeling. You're building, you're in the zone, and then bam, a competitor makes a big move. So what do you do? Well, today we're going to break down a framework to turn that flicker of panic into real power. Drop, narrow, or double down.
Yeah, it always starts with that gut-wrenching feeling, right? You see a press release, a new feature, maybe a patent filing from a rival, and your stomach just drops. It's this instinctive physical reaction. But what if that feeling wasn't a warning to panic, but actually a signal to start thinking strategically?
So, how do we make that shift from panic to power? Well, it all starts with learning how to read the real signals. You see, a competitor's actions aren't just random storms blowing in. They're messages. And if you learn how to read them, you can actually use their moves to sharpen your own path.
Okay, and this slide right here, it's all about a crucial shift in perspective. That flashy press release might just be screaming investor pressure. That shiny new feature they just launched, it could just be a patch, not some grand plan. They might just be plugging a hole they're worried about. A competitor's move often says a lot more about their weaknesses than it does about their strengths.
Now, a patent filing, that can feel super intimidating, right? But really, it's just a story they're telling about their own priorities. Are they actually protecting something groundbreaking, or are they just afraid and trying to slow everyone else down? The details in that filing tell you everything about what they truly value and where their tech is really headed.
And here's the thing you've got to remember. These moves, they're almost never random. They follow patterns. You see a competitor launch a ton of new features right after a funding round? You can bet they're trying to prove that new cash was worth it. When you start spotting these patterns, you stop overreacting to every little thing and you start predicting their next moves, which helps you find the openings they leave behind.
Okay, so that brings us to our first big strategic choice, drop. And look, this is not about giving up. It's about strategic surrender. It's about recognizing when dropping an idea is actually the most mature and honestly the most powerful move you can make for your company.
And this is the question you've got to ask yourself, and you have to be honest. Because let's face it, we all have that one pet feature, right? That project we're just emotionally attached to. But is it really pulling the company forward? Or is it just pulling everyone sideways, draining precious energy and focus?
Yeah, and the warning signs? They're usually pretty subtle. Like your team suddenly has a million other super urgent tasks to do. Or customers, they'll give you that polite, oh, that's neat, but you don't see that fire in their eyes, right? There's no deep excitement. When you see these signs, it's not time to push harder. It's time to listen. The idea itself is telling you it's not working.
And this really gets to the heart of it. See, letting go isn't failing. It's more like pruning a tree. You're cutting away a weak branch so the stronger ones can get all the resources and really grow. It frees up your team to focus on the projects that are going to build your real advantage. All right, on to our second choice, narrow. Now, this isn't about pulling back or shrinking your ambition. Not at all. It's about sharpening your focus. It's about taking all that scattered effort and concentrating it into this unstoppable force.
I love this metaphor. It's just perfect. You know, it's like one of those multi-tools with 100 different blades, and none of them are actually sharp. We've all used a product like that. When you try to be everything to everyone, you just end up being nothing special to anyone.
And why does this work? It's simple. Focus creates momentum. When you narrow down, suddenly your message gets crystal clear. Your roadmap, it gets clean. Your team knows exactly what they're building and why. All that friction just disappears, and the entire company starts moving forward with incredible speed.
Okay, but let's be super clear about something. Narrowing is not the same thing as pivoting. A pivot, that's a huge, risky move. It's basically an all-or-nothing bet that changes your whole company. Narrowing, on the other hand, is a smart, calculated adjustment. You're not starting over. You're just making what already works even stronger.
And all of this leads us to the final and maybe the most decisive move of all. After you've read the signals, you've dropped the distractions, and you've narrowed your focus, you arrive at this moment, the double down. This is where you go all in. This is where you really commit to winning.
And to double down, it's not a wild gamble. It's a calculated bet. It's a decision you make based on real evidence. You've already seen the signals from your best users. You know exactly where your unique advantage is. So the question isn't what should we do anymore? It's, are we ready to put our full weight behind this?
So, okay, how do you actually pull off a confident double down? Well, this lays out the path pretty clearly. First, you've got to lock in on those consistent signals from your high-value users. Second, you build a super clean roadmap that just cuts everything else out.
Seriously, everything. Then, you execute with incredible speed to sharpen that advantage. And finally, you protect that core innovation with a strong IP strategy.
And get this, once you have that single unified direction, speed becomes your absolute superpower. Your team just moves faster because there are no more endless debates about what to work on. Your customers feel that momentum. They see the product getting better and better. And your competitors, they just can't keep up.
But how do you make that advantage stick? This is how. Think about it. Committing to a direction without protecting it, that's like building an amazing castle on wide open land with no walls. A really strong IP strategy, that's what turns your commitment into a defensible moat. It makes your technical depth a lasting business advantage that nobody can just copy.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one question. The next time a competitor makes a move and you feel that tightness in your gut, just pause. Ask yourself, are you going to react and play their game? Or are you going to choose the ground where you know you can win? The choice is yours.